Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back or for joining me. My name is Joanna and I am your intuitive medium and intuitive coach. These are going to be your readings for the month of May. I'm going to keep this very short and very brief. I want to say first and foremost, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing to my videos. Please keep in mind these are general videos, so they may not apply to you. Some parts may apply to you, sometimes the entire thing may apply to you, and sometimes none of it will apply to you, and that's okay. Do watch your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign, because these will often create a much clearer picture of what's going on in your life or how it's reflected in your particular case. If you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. And always remember that if you send me an email regarding how the readings pertain to you, I have no way of knowing that until I actually connect with you when I have a session with you. So if that is what you wish, that information is down below for you. Aside from the fact that May feels very significant, but I think I always say that everything is very significant, but there are some planetary changes happening in the month of May. The planet of Uranus is entering the sign of Taurus, and with that comes significant changes for the next little while. So be prepared to shift, to change, to evolve, to become much more enlightened, and a lot of the readings do reflect that. So without further ado, thank you so much again. Let's move on to your individual readings. I will see you soon. Hello, beautiful Capricorns. This is going to be a reading for the month of May 2018. Let me start off with some of the things that I am picking up for you. One of the things that I got very clearly is that many of you are in a new energy. The words new beginning was shown to me. The element of crossroads was also shown to me, but I feel like you have just gone through some crossroads and now you're making movement forward, and there's newness with this. And for some of you, you are at crossroads and you will be making new choices and decisions going forward. I don't get anything bad with this. This is more of a transition is the word that I want to say. So I know I say it on almost all the videos because it comes up in every single sign. All of us are moving always, but we are all in transitions, particularly now at this time with the current energy. So new beginnings are being highlighted for you. I'm also seeing that some of the seeds that you have planted long time ago are going to start to show up as a physical evidence. And this is being shown to me as a beautiful metaphor of a beautiful daffodil coming up from the ground and exposing its beauty for the world to see. So this is an indication that and for some of you this is going to be relationship, but for many of you this is going to be career oriented. So if you have been planting seeds about the job that you want, a situation that you want to create, an environment you want to find yourself in, a relationship you want to attract, changing the way you are in a current relationship, whatever it is that is important to you and you have been working on for quite some time, has the potential to show up in your life very quickly. The month of May is being shown, so this is for May, but I feel like, well, I'm hoping many of you will realize these goals or this goal in a month of May. Some of you may have seen evidence of this in April, but I feel there is more to come. The number 6 was being shown to me, and I'm not sure, but I think you got that last time if I'm not mistaken, because 6 is, well, it's the Lover's card, and some of it will be regarding a relationship. So yes, for some of you this is about starting new, starting fresh in a relationship, but this could be a relationship with a new partner or a new company or a new project. But there is an indication that things are going in your direction, and I almost want to say they're going right finally is what I want to say, so it feels like you've been waiting for this for quite some time. For others of you, this is about becoming much more balanced in the way you approach life. I always say coming from the space of abundance within will always yield much more results that are positive or ones that we want to create. It is also about major life choices and decisions. So for some of you, this is about saying yes to something new in your life, to a new relationship, to a new child. For some of you, you might be giving birth in the month of May. But the 6 also to me signalizes a very nurturing energy and an energy of harmony and balance within. So a lot of you will feel like life is about to happen to you, and it feels the energy that I'm picking up is many of you have felt you have been on hold, whether it's because things were not working out, where emotionally speaking, you were not getting what you wanted, the results you were looking for were not coming through, or simply you were just not getting anything in return for your hard work. It seems to be, for many of you, at least I hope, a thing of the past coming May. The word resourceful comes in. So you are going to feel resourceful. There will be resources provided for you. Resources will be given to you. This could be monetary. This could be help from other people. Remember, month of May is a very nurturing month for you. So chances are you're going to be moving towards much greater harmony within, and that can come from various different things, including other people offering you resources to help you attain the balance and the harmony within. Now, the 2 cards that represent your focus, beautiful. You have building blocks and you also have the observer. So for the month of May, you are, let me say it differently. In the month of May, you will be building something new. Either you will be building a brand new foundation with a new relationship, or at work, or with a current relationship. There is a feel of you starting something new, something fresh. So the month of May is going to be spent, or it will be beneficial for you to focus on creating a stable foundation for yourself. And I always say that our foundation, the most important foundation, is the foundation we have within ourselves with respect to how we feel, which stems from our belief systems. So I always say, if we start something or create something from a point of view of having a weak foundation or foundation that has cracks in it, then anything we build on that foundation will likely not hold, because, well, when we have cracks in foundation, then, shit happens. Excuse my French. So for many of you, this is examining the old and creating something new in a way that it's different, in the way you approach things, the way you behave, the way you project yourself, the way you project your image, the way you want people to see you, what is important to you now versus what was important to you before. So there seems to be a shift in the way you approach things, particularly with this new beginning that is coming to you. So lots of focus on strengthening and building strong and valuable foundations. If you're already with somebody, it is in a partnered relationship, the message here is focus on strengthening what you already have. If this is something that you are going to be involved in as a new, look at things to do differently than when you have done them before, particularly if the things you have done before did not bring you the results that you wanted. Chances are, if you do the same thing again, it's going to come back to you in the same way as before. So focusing on foundations and creating stronger foundations is being highlighted in the month of May. The observer is all about making sure that you allow yourself to see things from a bigger perspective. see things from a different perspective, see things from a more neutral space. Oftentimes, when we are too close to a situation, we can't see very much. But the moment we remove ourselves from it, which also is about emotionally changing how we connect to a situation, it will allow us to see the bigger picture. When we see the bigger picture, we have much more ability to see things clearly and more chances to make things right, if I can put it that way. So the words that I'm hearing is stuck in a rut. If you have been stuck in a rut, it is important for you to perhaps look at any new situation that you are dealing with from a different perspective than that's how I'm going to say. Look at things from a different perspective, from a non-neutral perspective. This is what I want to say. Okay, so here's an example. If you are starting a new job or a new relationship and something is not working, or you're getting triggered, as an example, allow yourself to imagine what would happen if you saw you and the situation from a distance. And you looking at the situation from a distance, notice if you can see things differently when you look at your situation from that perspective. I can almost guarantee you that you will see things slightly different, which may allow you to do things differently. And if we try to do things differently based on what we've done before, chances are we'll have different results coming to us. So again, relationship, work, any situation, because you're starting new and because many of you will have brand new beginnings, it is important to see things perhaps differently than you're used to seeing things before. I hope this is making sense. Now, 2 spirit animal cards and spirit animal, yes, cards popped up. I asked for 1, you got 2. The first one you have is a hyena. So we know what a hyena is. Hyena is a predator. It's a very ferocious, very, very scary looking. Look at this little guy. He is not very happy. And they hunt at night. So the message of this card is, underneath all this, is there perhaps a part of you or a side of you that you do not want to communicate for a fear of whatever that is for you? Because part of the message with this card is, it's reflect. Again, this is looking from a different perspective. Reflect upon things and notice if you rely too much on humor or sarcasm in order to convey your truth. And when we do that, it's because we are almost always uncomfortable talking about what it is that's important to us. So the hyena card comes in order to say, hey, why don't you see if you can look at things differently, number 1. And number 2, notice if there are any patterns in your background that have kept you from getting what you want, that are connected to you truly not expressing your truth and your desire. And a lot of people will say, well, I always express my truth or my desire. Well, that isn't necessarily the case. That isn't necessarily so, because we think we do, but when we have all this underlying stuff that we are not connecting to because we can't see things if we are too close, then chances are you are really not aware of what it is that is important to you. So again, time to look at things from a different perspective. I hope this is making sense. This is a little bit interesting. The next card you have is the hummingbird. I don't know anyone who does not like hummingbirds. To me, they're just, nature is perfection, but there's something about hummingbirds that I actually absolutely love. The message of this card is that a hummingbird learns where they get the nectar, where they get the food. They always come back to their source. to the source to get that which fuels them. So the message of this card is, don't forget about your deepest needs when it comes to your soul. So this is a lot about, message about expressing yourself through creativity, through laughter, through exploration, but also through looking into spirituality, perhaps in a different way, in a different light, maybe from a different perspective. In other words, the hummingbird is saying, what is it that fuels your soul? What is it that you can do to make you feel good about who you are that doesn't necessarily involve others or other things? So this is about the importance of going back to your source. The source could be spirituality. The source of your contentment could be the way you express yourself artistically or creatively. There's various different ways of nurturing your soul. But the message here is, it's important for you to find out what that is for you, for that is where you get recharged. This is about what is your source of happiness. If your source of happiness is being with somebody else, then the problem with that is that when that somebody else is no longer, you are no longer happy, because the happiness was given to you by an outside source. And I've talked about this in other videos, and I think you guys, you know this. This is how it works. So this is about returning to an aspect of you that fuels you and makes you feel content. Now, I'm not saying just because you feel happy, you're not going to be in a relationship or you're not going to have a job. I'm not saying that. But we are fueled by whatever source we think we need in order to feel happy. That source either brings you happiness or it doesn't. Chances are, if you are looking for the source of happiness outside of you, then it's going to be very difficult to fulfill that in a way that is consistent but also sustainable. I always say, when you get something from outside, and when that outside disappears, whatever the outside gave you disappears with it. So you better make sure that whatever you're looking for comes from you. So this is about you nurturing you. Returning to the source for nourishment. How do you nurture yourself? The word creativity is coming up and it's underlying over and over and over and over. Perhaps for some of you, you have put the creative aspect of you aside and you have not done anything with it. Perhaps some of you are wanting to try something new, but you're not sure how to go about it. Perhaps some of you are wanting to explore deeper into spirituality. Whatever you're being pulled to, but you're not having the time, or you've put it aside, or somehow you got too busy. It's important to find where your source of contentment is. And I always say it has to come from within you. So find whatever fuels you. Okay, so those are the focus points. Now, what are you leaving behind? I think you got this last time, if I'm not mistaken. You have the Empress. So right away, I hear the word boredom. Boredom, for some of you, you are leaving that behind. For some of you, is lack of opportunities. For some of you, is lack of receiving. For some of you, it's lack of in general. Lack of abundance in any form. Financially, romantically, spiritually, physically, any of those, hopefully not all of those. But you're leaving this behind, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. You are moving to new opportunities, to new starts, to new beginnings. So let's move this guy out. Let's leave this lady aside. Now, what's to come? Very interesting, because you have King of Swords in reverse, you have Ace of Wands in reverse, you have Page of Cups, and you have Two of Coins. For some of you, I feel like you will be leaving one situation behind and you will be going into a brand new one. For some of you, you will have two options and you will not know how to juggle it. For some of you, you will be leaving a person behind who is like a king or a queen of swords. So this is somebody who is very intellectual, but in reverse, I want to say they're cunning. Okay, they use their intellect in a ways that are not nice. This could be someone who is very manipulative, someone who is very brash with their words, or cunning. Cunning is the word. Deceitful is also what I want to say. So, of course, if you have somebody like that in your life, good riddance is what I want to say. Okay, the Ace of Wands in reverse signifies to me that it is an end of a relationship with a person who is like a king or queen of swords. Okay, that's for some of you. For some of you, there is a brand new beginning just around the corner. Now, the Page of Cups to me signifies that somebody is about to offer you a cup, offer you an emotional something, whether it's a new relationship. I wouldn't say necessarily career, because this is cups, so it is emotions. I feel this is more love. So somebody is offering you love. Yes, it could also be somebody's offering you an opportunity for employment, but I feel for most of you, this is going to be in a relationship way, in a relationship department. The Two of Coins to me is about decision making, but it's also about juggling. So in the month of May, you may be juggling more than one thing at a time, or more than two things at a time. You may be juggling different relationships. You may be juggling different responsibilities. Because it's in upright, I don't feel anything bad about it. It just feels like you may be busy because you are preoccupied with many things, and sometimes that's not a bad thing to have. For some of you, this could be juggling two relationships. Now listen, if that's the case, then you're going to be tired. So if you're moving from not enough opportunities and now you have a Page of Cups and a brand new beginning and you're juggling stuff, well, sounds like for some of you, you're going from one extreme to another. But hey, you know what? Good for you. Is there anything else they want me to give to you? So these are all great messages. You guys have brand new beginnings. Even if you leave somebody behind, even if somebody leaves you, there is definitely somebody else offering you a cup. So, there is definitely newness in the air. My only concern is that you are going to be juggling things, and you may need to decide what it is that you want to do. But and this could be also financially, but because it's shown to me upright, I'm not really that concerned about it. It's more, I feel you're going to be tired. Okay? Now, the building blocks, remember, this is about creating brand new foundations. It's about creating stable foundations. So if you are in a new relationship, make sure you start on the right foot. Make sure that you don't hide what's important to you behind sarcasm or behind being a joker or behind, being whatever. Be honest with yourself, truthful with yourself, and be truthful with the person. Also see things from a different perspective, particularly if you're starting a brand new relationship. Look at the things that you've done before and see if there's room for improvement, for strengthening your foundation. I feel many of you between now and December will be in brand new relationships. And I don't often say that with that long of a range in general readings, but that is what I'm being shown. So whether you start a relationship in May or whether you start to work on your foundation in May, the end result is many of you are moving into brand new beginnings. The number 15 was shown to me. So if 15 means anything to you, make note of that. 15 is also, is it the devil? Is 15 the devil? I think so. 15 is, the devil. So some of you might be looking into things that, how do I want to say it? things that bind you, but I want to say it differently. How do I want to say it? What's the word that I want to use? Things that keep you stuck. Particularly when it comes to relationships. Yes, also jobs, but in jobs we have relationships, so it's all about relating. Again, the notion of needing to be honest with yourself and be honest with another person is coming up. And for some of you, that has been a hindrance, not because you were not dishonest, but because perhaps you didn't know what your truth was, or perhaps you were afraid to speak your truth because, well, for whatever reason that we're afraid, right? But because the devil is shown to me, it's look at your past relationships and notice if there is a pattern. Once you can figure out the pattern, looking from a different perspective, you can then work on strengthening your current foundation or build a new one. But most importantly, you're not going to get yourself into the same rut or mistake again. And I always say, if we look back and draw conclusions and wisdom from our mistakes, then it's no longer a mistake. I actually don't believe in mistakes. I mean, yes, I do. When we keep doing the same thing over and over again with the same result, then we're just not learning and we're just in denial. But I always say mistakes are opportunity for achievement because they help us grow. If we take the time and the effort to learn from them and to extract valuable information. So that's what I'm going to say. Because the devil was shown to me as the number 15, and all it means to me is that some of your stuff will have to be addressed, and this could be standard addiction or non-standard addiction, whatever it is that has a hold on you, which can create, misalignment or disharmony within you or within a relationship. It's important for you to look at. I think that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching, for liking. This was an interesting reading. Makes no sense to me. Probably won't make sense to you at the beginning of the month, but always listen to it at the end. I wish you best month of May. And if you would like a private session to see how this affects you, by all means, that information is down below. Thank you again so much. I wish you best of luck and take care.